to our little studio, Joy.
Thank you for having me, Maggie.
We've got this debut album to talk about, the show tonight at Natalie's, where it all started.
Absolutely.
And let's get warmed up with a song, and we'll come back and chat.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm looking out on the road and all that's ahead. I don't travel alone. The horizon's my friend. Oh, but mile after mile, I feel anxious inside. All the worry and doubt keep plaguing my mind. But I feel the sunshine on my face, and I know this road is not a race. So I keep going my own pace until I find my place, till I find my place. I'm taking one step in the right direction, one step in the right direction. I'm saying goodbye to the fear, I'm leaving them behind. 'Cause those were formative years, I don't need them this time. And I release my regrets, and I learn how to roll with the tide. No, my sun has not set, I've got a great view in sight. Yeah, I feel the sunshine on my face, and I know this road is not a race. So I keep going my own pace until I find my place, till I find my place. I'm taking one step in the right direction, one step in the right direction, one step in the right direction. Yeah, one step in the right direction. Sunshine on my face, and I know this road is not a race. So I keep going my own pace till I find my place, till I find my place. I'm taking one step in the right direction, one step in the right direction. Yeah. Well, I'm looking out on the road and all that's ahead.
If you're just joining us, it's Joy Clark live from Studio A, and tonight is the show at Natalie's, 6:30 doors, 7:30 showtime, and we'll have some tickets to give away coming up. And one step in the right direction. It's the lead-off track to her latest or brand new debut called Tell It to the Wind that came out in October on Righteous Babe Records. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. You catch the attention of Ani DeFranco. That's her label. And tell us about that and where she saw you and just said, okay, come aboard my roster, you know?
Yeah. Well, it started with a Christmas song, actually. We were both on a bill on a holiday show, and she she lives in New Orleans. I also live in New Orleans. So we were both on that show, and it was at the Orpheum Theater. And there were so many acts on the bill that they wanted to combine people because it wasn't going to be enough time for. So the host of the show, Judith Owen, who's also an artist, amazing artist, she was like, let's put people together. Can we put Joy with Ani? And that ended up happening. And then we found out you have to do a holiday song. She didn't have a song, so my agent found out that, like, hey, well, Joy has a song called Gumbo Christmas. And I sent a little recording of myself with just face camera, one shot. And when she heard the song, she'd been trying to write a holiday song. But when she heard Gumbo Christmas, she said, why am I writing a song? This song is awesome. So that's how I got on her radar.
Wow.
So it was a Christmas song.
So then take us, Judith Owen, so she was holding the benefit for.
Yeah, she was the host of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so we combined and we performed my song Gumbo Christmas, and we did it together, and everybody loved it. It was actually the only original holiday tune that night.
Look at you!
So it was the song. It was the song.
Fun.
It was the song and the performance, everything. So
Judith Owen has been in here too. We were happy to have her here as
Wonderful.
well. And was Harry Shearer there, her husband?
Yeah. Well, I think he was sick that night, so he wasn't there. Yeah, this was, I think, 2022.
Okay, so take us the next steps after she said, let's put you on Righteous Babe and let's go into her recording studio.
Her manager reached out. I think it was her manager reached out. Hey, Joy really, she really enjoyed Joy. So if she has any music that you want to put out at some point, we would love to be a part of it. So it was a no-brainer for me. Of course I had to look into that, but it's Ani. Yeah. So, you're going to be treated fairly, and that's how it happened. And I said yes, and then I quickly continued writing for the. I didn't really know I was writing for an album, but I was just writing. I'm always just writing.
So who you worked with a producer who co-wrote some of the songs as well?
Margaret Becker, yes. So this is a great story. So I grew up in the church and playing a lot of, gospel music and contemporary gospel music. And Margaret had a huge career in that genre. So I started listening to her at like 9 years old, and I would her songs were like practice. It were training grounds for me because she also plays guitar. So I would learn how to play those songs, and I would perform them as special songs at church. And then fast forward 30 years later, we get a chance to meet, and we get to know each other a little bit, and then we just organically start writing. It just started as hangouts, and then we just started writing, because when you co-write with anybody, there's an intimacy, especially the type of writing. It's pretty personal, and it only comes from getting to know someone. Yeah. So I asked her to produce me because she's also a producer, and it was a choice. It was my choice. So it feels like the whole thing just feels really kismet, and that's what the album is talking about. Yeah. Trusting your gut.
I love that word, kismet.
Kismet, yeah. It's a little serious word.
I do.
Yeah.
It's Joy Clark live from Studio A. Tell It to the Wind is her debut album. And what part of New Orleans are you from?
Well, I grew up in Harvey. So Harvey is a little suburb,
okay,
about 10 minutes outside of New Orleans. But now I live uptown. Okay. I live in the city. But yeah, that's where I'm from. That's where my people are, and I enjoy being there. That's where Ani is. Yeah.
So sadly, January 1st, January didn't get off to a great start in your city. Were you around that area when that attack?
No, I was home. I was home, but when I woke, I awoke to a lot of texts from friends.
Making sure
I got
a
text from a good friend from Austria, who texted me to see if I was okay, and it was a shock, and it was a really, I say it's still on my heart. It was only a couple of months ago. Like the way we perceive time is like it's very new. That really stopped me in my tracks for a good 2 weeks. It was really hard because that's my community. You know, I've been down there at New Year's, Eve, and when you're just spending time in the city, people talk about how dangerous it is, and many places can be dangerous. But when you're in that environment, it's like everybody's kind of looking out for each other, and you're really just spending time, and it's just such a cruel and evil way to begin something that's supposed to be really, really positive and joyful. So.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about that. And our friend Tim Easton, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tim Easton, he's from here but now lives in Nashville. He was in New Orleans. He had a gig that night, and his daughter helps out with merchandise and stuff. But he was apparently staying in that hotel and woke up to that. He's not even from there, and was devastated. I
do know Tim. I didn't know he was in the city at that time. Yeah.
But on a completely different level, the Super Bowl. Were you around there? What was that like?
I was on tour with Madeline Peru.
Oh,
at that time, I watched a little bit of. Well, I watched the halftime show from my hotel room in Berlin. So I didn't have that on my bingo card, but I did. I saw a little bit, but I wasn't in the city.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, it is Louisiana-born singer-songwriter, guitarist Joy Clark, and it's a joy to have her here today. We'll do a ticket giveaway after this next song that she does for us. It's at Natalie's, 630 Doors, and out of the Big Easy, joining us here today.
Yeah.
What's this next one you're going to do?
This one is called Guest.
All right.
Yeah. I really know how to hide. Press my feelings in the places so that everything I love is safe inside. I was torn, the push and pull, trying every combination to be present and protected and alive. Here's my story, I confess. I've been living like a guest in my own life. I've been missing happiness and settling for less in my own life. Well, now I'm back in my own skin, the way I was before I learned I shouldn't be someone who celebrates their wins. And I fought like hell to free myself, fired up every single cell so I can revel in the beauty of my own world again. Here's my story, I confess. I've been living like a guest in my own life. I've been missing happiness and settling for less in my own life, chasing my own life. Here's my story, I confess. I've been living like a guest in my own life. I've been missing happiness and settling for less. Hey, but here's my story. My story. been missing happiness and settling for less, and chasing my own life, chasing my own life.
It's Joy Clark with another one live from Studio A. Tonight's the show at Natalie's 6:30 doors, and caller number 3 wins a pair of tickets. We'll do another giveaway after the third song that she'll take us out with here in just a bit. It's the album Tell It to the Wind that came out this last October on Righteous Babe Records, Ani DeFranco's record label, and recorded in the Righteous Babe studios in New Orleans. You are the youngest of 5?
Yeah, that's true.
Did everybody play in the church and as you did?
Sort of, yeah. Everybody was involved in producing church. My brother Farron played the drums. So we took care of the music, the live music portion, and my sisters both sing, and my brother Preston also sings too. Okay. He didn't sing that much, but he had a voice. He just never sang that much. But yeah, we were all involved in church.
Yeah, and your grandmother, a big hero of yours, and
yeah, she is a
and
big
this
hero
path
of mine.
that you took. Tell us about her and the story behind it.
Bumma, that is what we would call her.
What was it?
Bumma. Bumma is what we would call her. Well, I'll tell you a little story. My oldest cousin Walter, he couldn't make the B sound. I'm sorry, he couldn't make the G sound, grandma, but he could make the B sound. So it stuck, and we all called her Bumma. But Katherine Johnson is her name, and you know, she was one of those people who welcomed everybody into her home. I remember when I was in college. She would just always tell me, if you got friends on Thanksgiving, you know, or on Christmas, or whenever she was cooking, bring them over. You know, no questions asked. It doesn't have to be, you know, they don't have to be in church. They don't have to be. She would just come to my house. Mm-hmm. Just come, and we're gonna feed you. No questions. Just enjoy yourself. She loved doing that, and she just imparted a lot of wisdom and just a lot of perseverance and kindness, and she was also fierce too. You know, you can be all those things and also be, you know, have a strong will. I think you have to have a strong will if you are that way. Actually, right. People set it up as you have to be one thing or another, but she taught me so many things in life. She taught me to be kind to people and to welcome people in, and I can remember the one time, like one of the hardest times for me. Like, I grew up in church, and so when I came out, that was difficult. But it was difficult in general. But when I came out to her, I was sort of bracing for some type of pushback, and I didn't get it. And I remember just sort of if you feel your body clenching,
right? And
then when you get that love and acceptance, it just slowly just let it go. And
was she the person you came out to first, or
she wasn't. Maybe she might have been second or third, something like that. But that gave me a window into my grandmother, because when you're growing up, you don't necessarily know, like you kind of have to get to know your parents later, and you get to know the people that you see as adults a little bit later, because it's sort of the role of this person's an adult and I'm a child. But when you become an adult, it really helps when you get a window into who they really are apart from being grandma, you know, who they are as a person, you know. And she was vulnerable enough to show me that. And I wrote a song about her.
And what song is that?
Yeah, it's called Lesson.
And there's a video.
There's a beautiful video of it.
Who's in the very beginning of it?
That's my grandmother.
Okay, I was wondering.
That's her. That's her and my grandfather, who's still living. Samuel Johnson, the Katherine Johnson Samuel Johnson. So I took that from her final birthday. Actually, I didn't. Of course, I didn't know, but I took that because I felt she's, it's like she already knew, but she spoke to the family and she was encouraging. Like, I'm not always going to be here, but my spirit will live on. So and awesome. That was a real moment. Yeah.
I know we just met today, but I'm a big crier, so I better stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's just beautiful stories. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you were also homeschooled, right?
I was homeschooled. You're getting all the stuff. Yeah.
I'm trying. I
was homeschooled. Yeah, me and my siblings, we were homeschooled, and that's a big story. But I think there was always a little bit of a rub, like, oh, I missed out on this. I missed out on this. But when I can look back on it, I can take things that I think allowed me to be who I am today. Like, I'm very comfortable with the unknown. I'm very comfortable with, when you're a musician, when you choose to really pursue this life, touring and sort of employing yourself, you have to. It is not set out in stone. There's no map, and I think being homeschooled sort of nurtured that sort of self-reliant part of me, and I was allowed to explore with very little pushback from high school meanness. I think that kind of sheltered me a little bit from that tough shell that you have to develop when you're in school. So I see it as a little bit of it was good for me.
And then it was in New Orleans, the university?
Yeah, I graduated from the University of New Orleans. So I finished college, and I did a 3-track study, and I did a little bit of music, but I didn't get a degree in music, which, that's saying a lot. I did English, sociology, and history. So I did a lot of reading and writing and a lot of critical thinking, and that I use in music.
So good. I love having you here today and sharing your awesome music with us and your awesome stories. And just a few more questions before I let you get out of here. Of course, working with Ani and her label. Tell us about, and we mentioned Madeline Peru, who is just amazing.
Yes.
And your work with Allison Russell, and what was the band?
The Rainbow Coalition.
Yes.
So I started working with Allison. It was sort of just a call up. She had heard me play, and she heard me play some of my songs, and she had heard the way that I played, and she contacted me and said, "Look, I got some really cool opportunities that are coming," and those turned out to be a concert at the Ryman. And playing in her band, the Grammys, the Grammy pre-show, and the 2022 Grammys. We played with her on Ellen, and on Jimmy Kimmel, and on Austin City Limits. So
what's left for you to do? You've already
well, it's always something. It's always something else. But it's great. Like working with Allison. She's such a multifaceted person, right? She knows how to curate, she knows how to, if she really believes in something, believes in someone's art, then she's very generous in her light, and I'm all in the belief of when we are empowered to shine, we empower other people to do it too, because there's always enough to go around, and there's always enough love to spread, and I think there's a lot of belief that, well, if somebody else gets this, then there's not enough room for me. There's enough room for everybody, and that's just what I've been seeing the past 3-4 years.
And what about touring with Brandi Carlile and the Indigo Girls?
Yeah, I got to meet those people through working with Allison. When we played on Ellen, Brandi was the host, was the guest host. So I got a chance to meet her. Now we have a rapport with each other and just a respect. Awesome. And it just feels like, yes, these are musicians and these are artists just like you are. And they they aren't on a hill somewhere where you can't reach them. They're really about it, you know. And I think it's special because it lets me realize that you're on the right track. Just keep sharing your art, and little by little, people will hear, and it's affirming. Yeah. I call my music life affirming, and that's what I just feel like everything has been. So,
it's Joy Clark live from Studio A. You can wave to everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and if you didn't catch it, you can see it on our site afterwards, or if you didn't get to check it out. And well, before let you go, tell us a little bit about some of your favorite, you know, the city's traditions in New Orleans. What are some of your favorites, or the favorite food? You mentioned you made a song about gumbo.
I made a song about gumbo, so particularly seafood gumbo is my favorite. Creole seafood gumbo. You're not a seafood
not
person?
A seafood person. Sorry. But I like the jambalaya with the sausage.
Yeah. Jambalaya. Well, I mean, the food culture is fantastic. I mean, people talk about Jazz Fest. It's an amazing festival. People don't realize that it really is about the food too, as much as it is about the music. I mean, you have to go and try everything. I have a really good time during carnival season, not just Mardi Gras Day, but carnival season. Carnival season is like a month long. There are different parades, and I just like the way we know how to stop to have a good time. we know how to shut things down. We don't have a shortage of celebrations, and I think it's good to be that way. This is happening, but let's take some time. Let's shut it down and spend time with your family, eat some good food, welcome your friends in town, show them around the city. There's a patience. There's a lot of patience in New Orleans that I really admire, that warmness. And I mean, there's a center on family and spending time with loved ones. So
embracing it all. Yeah.
Embracing it all. And of course the music culture. Yeah. So I came up in the culture where, you know, I could be in Guitar Center playing a song and there's a bass player who says, "You sound good. Come to so-and-so place and you know, sing a song," you know?
That's
and
so cool.
they keep their word. It's just welcoming. It's not really it's a very generous city if you're coming to make music and just enjoy it. Really generous.
Great vibes.
Really wonderful vibes.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
And congratulations on this new album. It is Joy Clark, live from Studio A. She's going to play one more for us, and we'll do our ticket giveaway after this song. Natalie's tonight, 6:30 doors or seating, and 7:30 show start. And nataliesgrandview.com for details. Also listed on our Facebook events. And what are you going to take us out with?
This one is called Lesson. This is my grandmother. Sitting at the table, pouring out my day, at the feet of an angel, she knew just what to say. Eyes that knew freedom and sorrows unsaid. Well, she breathed out her wisdom, and here's what she said. She told me to be grateful. She told me to be kind. She told me to stand up for what is right. Say there's a time for peace, and God help us, there's a time for strife. Well, she said, go and get your lesson, and you will find your blessing. Go and get your lesson. Oh, na ne na ne, oh na ne na ne, oh na ne. every good life has seen the hardest of times. But you just learn from it, honey, and keep your head held high. She told me to be grateful, and she told me to be kind. She told me to stand up for what is right. Say there's a time for peace, and Lord help us, there's a time for strife. Well, she said, go and get your lesson, and you will find your blessing. Go and get your lesson, you're gonna find your blessing. Go. She told me to be grateful, and she told me to be kind. She told me to stand up for what is right. Said there's a time for peace, and Lord help us, there's a time for strife. Well, she said, go and get your lesson, you will find your blessing. Go and get your lesson. Go and get your lesson. Go and get your lesson.